Hi everyone, it's Latin Roses. Last time we were in the kitchen together, I showed you how to make a delicious chocolate fudge, and it was so delicious. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade tamales, simplified. And if you want to see how to do this, I'll show you how next. How to make homemade tamales, simplified. Okay, so we're still here in my kitchen right now, and the reason why I said these are simplified is because I did not make this masa from scratch. In case you didn't know, making tamales is not difficult, but it's very, very time consuming. That's why it's traditional for a lot of Hispanic families, Mexicans especially, to make this together with their families. And there's usually a lot of us, like George Lopez likes to say, there's usually a lot of us. What do they say? A lot of helping hands makes heavy work light and easy. So I don't take the time to make this. The people that do, oh my gosh, my hats go off to you. But I'm a busy career working mom. I don't have time for this. So this is one of the ways I simplify the process and streamline the time. I actually start the day before. I'm going to actually have the day set aside with my family to prepare these tamales, because otherwise it would just take too long, and it's very time consuming. But it's not hard. So if you really want to try to make this, go ahead. So I get this masa. You might have seen them in a lot of grocery stores, in your local stores, but I go to the Mexican bakery near me. There's a really nice bakery called Nayar bakery in Redlands, and it is amazing. And you bring your bowl, they give it to you in a bag. And when you order your masa, sometimes you have to order it, but you can just usually walk in this bakery and they always have it. Whatever you need, they have it. So it's just, they sell it in pounds, like 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. How many pounds you make is depending on how many you need for your family and friends. And I got 10 pounds. This says 10 pounds, this size of a bowl. 10 pounds, and this will probably make about 8 to 10 dozen, depending on the size of what I'm going to be using. We're going to be using corn husk, and you have to clean them. So my mom usually handles that. She cleans them. You can get corn husk usually in your local grocery stores at this time of year, especially towards the holiday season. And she's going to what she does is she opens up the bag and she soaks them in some warmed hot water, and it cleans the husk and it softens them so you can spread the masa easy. And the masa is kind of like a doughy peanut butter consistency, so it just spread easier. And we're going to show you when we get to her house. We're going to make these tamales at my mom's house today. She is a tamale expert, and she's soaking the corn husk there, and we'll see how she removes the little, it comes, if you never open a corn husk before, it has little strings in there, little red corn strings or something, and you have to remove them and soften up the corn husk, and that's what you're going to do. We're going to do that in a little while. So I'm getting ready to pack up so we can go to my mom's. But a few things you're going to need is, a lot of people make their homemade red or green sauce. We use red, and again, this is where we simplify. We just use, and I'm not a spokesperson for Las Palmas, but hello, Las Palmas, if you need a spokesperson, I'm available. We use the red enchilada sauce, the red chili sauce. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, the red chili sauce and the medium. And then we doll it up, spice it up a little garlic, and make it taste really good. We also like to add olives to our tamales. A lot of people will use potatoes, chilies, and we use meat. My family makes a lot of tamales with meat. And so I have chicken ready that I got ready the night before, and some people like it shredded. I boil mine, or I put it in a crock pot. A lot of people will use traditionally beef. I have some beef in here. My daughter likes beef. She's a fan of beef. And this isn't shredded. I just cut it up into tiny pieces. I like that too. I love shredded, whatever you like. And a lot of people do use pork. That's usually traditional one, pork. So I have the most pork meat. I'm going to make about 10 pounds, hopefully about 8 to 10 dozen. I'm going to share it with my mom. We don't need a lot of that. And some people make a cheese version with chili. We don't usually make that, and the people make sweet ones. We don't make those either, but today is just strictly going to be how to make homemade tamales with red chili sauce. And I'm getting ready to pack up to go to my mom's so we can do that. You're also going to need, you don't have to have it, but it's really helpful, a nice large, I call it tamale pot. They sell them in the local stores around this time of year. It's like a stock pot, a really giant one, with a steamer, you know, with the little rack down here that's removable to put in there so that you can pack all your tamales in there. Like you can steam 3 or 4 dozen if you want, all at one time, and that's really helpful. So I'm getting ready to pack up to take everything to my mom's, and I'll catch you on the flip side. So we made it to my mom's house, and these are what the husks come in. They come in a bag. You can usually get them in your local grocery stores. So once you take them out of the bag, there's some little red strings, and my mom already has them soaking in some hot water. She's removed the strings, so they're soaking to soften them up. Soon we're going to drain them, put them in a bowl, and we're going to get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is prepare our red sauce, and we don't want it to be liquidy and running all over in our tamales. So the first thing we need to do is make some kind of roux to thicken up our red sauce. You can use cornstarch and water. My mom likes to do that, and my grandma used just flour, but I like to use the same type of roux that I use for my gravies. I use equal parts of flour to equal parts of butter, and I really needed to put more for this. I needed to actually put 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of flour, so I ended up having to add more additional flour later on. You take a whisk and you whisk your butter and your flour together. Once the flour melts kind of into the butter, then you're going to be ready to soon to pour in your can of red sauce. As you've noticed, I purchased a very large can of red sauce from my local Sam's Club warehouse. You can use several medium-sized cans, 3 or 4, but this large can will be more than enough for the 10 pounds of masa tamales that we're making today. Then you just take your whisk and you continue to stir it around and whisk it over medium heat until your sauce thickens, and this will take a few minutes. And we're going to add some additional ingredients to make this salsa, this red sauce, taste really good. We're going to add some sea salt. You could also use kosher salt. And we're going to use garlic powder. And just put as much as you like. We like garlic, the taste of garlic, so we use that. So you're going to mix it up and whisk it up, and you continue whisking it until it starts to thicken up, which it will start doing in a few minutes. Another very important ingredient is chili powder by Geharts. I'm using approximately 3 tablespoons. This gives it a really good flavor. It makes it taste really delicious. It's a very important part. A lot of people use actual really red chilies or green chilies and remove the seeds. This is another way to simplify our recipe. We just add this delicious chili powder by Geharts. It's really good. You just stir it and whisk it all together.
It looks like it's thickened up.
But once it's sitting, it'll thick.
My mom, you got a glimpse of her. She's so cute. Now we're going to take the corn husk and spread the masa on top of it, and we're going to spread the masa about 3/4 of the way to the top. And you don't want it too thick, and you don't want it too thin. It takes a little practice. And you got to spread and cover the whole corn husk. This can take a few minutes, and you just want to make sure you get it all covered really well so that you have a nice, delicious base to put your meat and sauce in. So you just keep spreading that. We're using spatulas. Mom keeps a bunch of spatulas on hand for us to use. And you just keep spreading it until you get it just right. This is the really hard work part, is spreading out the masa. It's one of the harder work. That's usually when the kids and everybody else come around and the family members to help spread the masa. It's probably the least favorite, but it's the part that we need the little helping hands for. And this is the part everybody usually helps us out with. This is the part my kids usually help us out with too. Keep spreading it so you get a nice coverage of the corn husk. And then we're going to take it over to the meat filling station that my mom set up for us. This is what it looks like.
Well, you shouldn't underestimate me, because this dad knows how to extend an olive branch. And in this case,
now we're at this filling station, and we're going to put our meat, and we're going to use beef in this one, and we have olives on the side. And some people put their meat mixed up with the sauce already to make it more simpler, but I like to have a lot of sauce on mine, so I put the meat in separate on top first, followed by a few olives, 2 or 3, and then we put the sauce on top. We drizzle it on top so it's not too runny. That's why it has to be a little bit thick. And then we're going to fold it, and it's an easy fold after you get the sauce on. It's 3 folds, 1, 2, and 3. So you fold it from one side in, and you fold it from the other side onto that side, and then the last little tail part you fold over. Repeat continuously, and you just put your wrapped ones to the side. So after you're done wrapping up your tamales, you put them in your steaming tamale pots, and we got about 7 dozen out of our 10 pounds of masa. Now what we do here is, you can use foil, but we just took some extra leftover corn husk and just laid them over. You can see they're here piled up. This is the big stock pot we had. And the very important part is we're going to steam these. So what you have to do is you have to get some water and very carefully pour it in the bottom of the pan. Now you could do this before you actually fill up your pot, but I think it's easier, we found, to do it last. And so I put about, you can't really see at this point, but I use one of these Tupperware containers, and that usually covers the bottom and then some pretty good. And then you're going to cook these, steam these rather, on the stove. Next, you're going to place your tamale pots on top of the stove at medium heat for 2 hours. Then you're going to come back and add more water like I showed you before, and continue steaming your tamales for another 2 hours, which will be approximately a total of 4 hours, or until they're finished. Now it's time for the taste test. Yep, there's nothing like homemade tamales. This looks like it's going to be another Latin approved recipe. Latin Roses approved. And that, my friends, is how you make homemade tamales from scratch, almost simplified. And you know me, I'm a busy working mom, career lady. I don't have time for everything made from scratch, so whenever I can take a shortcut, I will. And so if you want to try this for yourself, it's really good, it's really yummy. Save it on your playlist, this video, and then you can watch it later when you're ready to try it and follow along with me. So if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe, stay in touch. And I always love to hear from you. Your comments inspire me, and I'm glad that I inspire you too. So as always, I wish you love, peace, and joy.